In web programming, we are discussing the architecture, the multi-tier architecture. We'll see how this unrolls. Multi-tier architecture in software engineering. This multi-tier architecture, often we refer it to as N-tier architecture. This is N-tier. It is a client-server architecture in which we have presentation, application processing, and data management functions that are logically separated. For instance, an application that uses middleware to service data requests between the user and the database employs a multi-tier architecture. The most widespread use of this multi-tier architecture is, of course, the three-tier architecture. Three-tier. N-tier application architecture. They provide a model by which developers can now create flexible and reusable applications. And when we segregate an application into two tiers, the developers acquire the option of modifying or adding a specific layer instead of reworking again the entire application. So three-tier architectures typically comprise of the presentation tier, the business or data access logic tier, or then the third one is the data tier. The three-tier architecture, let us see the application view. In the three-tier architecture, we have a presentation tier. This is the topmost level of the application where we have a user interface, and the main function of this interface is to translate the task and results to something the user can understand. Logic tier. This is the layer which coordinates the application process commands, makes logical decision and evaluations, and perform calculation. So it also moves and processes data between the two surrounding layers. So it gets list of all sales. Say for example, a user wants to get sales and the total of all sales, and then other requirements also. So what this logic tier is going to do, it will get list of all sales made last year and along with that all sales together. Okay, this is the input which logic tier receives and performs, and this is how it transfers the output, that is adding all sales together, to the presentation layer. In the data tier, here we have information which is stored and retrieved from a database or say file system. The information is then passed back to the logic tier here, this layer, for processing and then eventually back to the user. What are the advantages of three-tier architecture approach? The ability to separate logical components of an application will ensure that applications are easy to manage and understand, making it more maintainable and understandable. That is, experts can be employed that specializes in one of the layer. For example, one is good at user interface design. Because communication can be controlled between each logical tier of an application, changes in one tier, for example the database access tier, will not have any effect to the client component. For example, a change from one DBMS to another would only require a change to the component in the data access layer, with little or no effect on the business layer, that is in middle or user interface layer. There are specific tools and technology suited to each layer which can be employed, and they are evolving. In a typical web-oriented three-tier architecture, we have a client tier. In this client, we are meaning that we are talking about the browser. So these are the system where we use, say, Internet Explorer, the Safaris, and the Mozillas. Then we have, of course, the Internet. Here we use the HTTP and TCP/IP protocols. In the middle tier, we have all the web server. That is, for example, let us take, we are giving example also. So let us take Apache, and we have scripting engine. For example, for PHP, we have Zend engine. We have PHP files, script files. So these script files are subjected to or given to the Zend engine so that the result can be given to the client. And in the database tier, we have database management system, for example, MySQL, and these are the databases, actual tables. In the web-oriented three-tier architecture, the tools and technologies. The presentation tier, we have the browser, of course, the first one, or the client or customer client can also be made. Not only browser, you can make a client also by yourself. Client-side scripting, For example, JavaScript, ActionScript, VBScript, or you can use the applets. In the logical tier, we have web server. You can use, say, Apache, IIS, or you can also go to the application server like WebSphere. Scripting languages, you can use PHP, Perl, etc. And programming languages, of course, Java, C, C Sharp. And application frameworks like Ruby on Rails. In the data tier or the third tier, we have DBMS. You can use Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, DB2. You cannot use the Microsoft Access like this because they are not embedded this DBMS. So you cannot use it as a separate working data tier. MySQL in the persistent data tier, you have MySQL. So MySQL is open source, that is relational RDBMS, database server. So this is open source relational database server. This runs on various platforms, Unix and Windows. We have network server, so no fancy GUI like SXS. So you can find clients such as phpMyAdmin that provide a GUI, and this is great for small, medium to large size applications like eBay, Amazon, Facebook, etc. All somewhere they make use of this MySQL. Then the MySQL in the persistence or data tier, the third tier we are talking about. The strengths are high performance. The benchmarks, they are very well against commercial DBAs. Low cost, no cost under open source license. Easy to configure, learn, easy to set up, and SQL compliant also. Portable, that means Linux, Unix, and Windows versions are available. Open source code is available for modification. In the phpMyAdmin, a MySQL client which is written in PHP. This is a MySQL client which is written in phpMyAdmin. Via a browser, what you can do, you can manage the databases. You can manage MySQL users. You can create tables, add, edit, delete data, browse data. You can submit the queries, import and export tables. So this is a great way to learn the SQL that is here. You go to phpMyAdmin. You can just download it and just go to localhost and you can run the phpMyAdmin. The interface, as you see here, this is a simple example of phpMyAdmin. Here you see that we have various pop-up SQL windows. This is the home databases. These are all databases. We have help also, MySQL help. This is the status, DB status. These are the how we can manage the users, to export database, to import database. In the PHP, we have APIs for using MySQL. So PHP APIs for using MySQL. There are three main APIs or options when considering connecting to a MySQL database server. That is PHP's MySQL extension. This is an original extension which provide a procedural interface and is intended for use only with MySQL versions older than the 4.1.3. So this can be used with version MySQL or MySQL 4.1.3 and newer, but not all latest MySQL server features will be available. Then PHP's MySQLi extension. These are APIs for using MySQL. We are talking about the PHP's APIs. The first we talked about MySQL extension. Second is MySQLi extension. So MySQL improved extensions takes advantage of new features found in MySQL versions 4.1.3 and newer. The MySQLi extension is included with PHP versions 5 and later. Then PDO, PHP data objects. The PHP data objects or PDO is a database abstraction layer. It provides a consistent API regardless of the type of the database server. So in theory, it allows for the switch of the database server also from say Firebird to MySQL with only minor changes to the PHP code. What are the advantages of this MySQL API? The object-oriented interface, the support for prepared statements, support for multiple statements, support for transactions, enhanced debugging capabilities, embedded server support. And if using MySQL version 4.1.3 or later, it is strongly recommended that the MySQLi extension should be used. So we have example MySQL DB also. This is the entity model. Say we have QID, this one QID, code, author, date of birth, DOD, the date of death, URL, category. So this is how you can make a MySQL DB. The example PHP script using MySQLi is the same one. So you can use this MySQLi, you can connect to the database and then you can find out the result using the query and MySQL query, select from where and then print the number of records retrieved and then fetch the objects one by one and then also do some error catching activities, and then you can close. So this was about how exactly the various architecture is available in your web programming and what all are used, and the most popular I have tried to show you. Thank you so much. Take care.